Hidden beneath the rolling hills of central Bulgaria lies a place where time does not move forward, but inward. A place where silence is not empty, but deliberate. This is Starosel. A gentle rise in the landscape, grass shaped by wind, stone warmed by centuries of sun, earth resting quietly beneath your feet. But Starosel was never meant to be seen casually. This was not built for travelers, not for memory, not even for history. It was built for transformation. The Thracians did not see the world as linear. To them, time did not progress. It cycled. Life was not a beginning and an end. It was a passage, birth, initiation, death, return, and Starosel stood at the center of that belief. Discovered only at the dawn of the modern millennium, the complex shattered long-held assumptions about Thracian civilization. They were not peripheral, they were not primitive, they were precise. The sanctuary dates back to the late 5th century before Christ, a period when belief was not written in books but carved into stone. Every measurement mattered, every alignment was intentional. Nothing here was decorative. The stones were quarried miles away, transported without wheels, without metal tools, without written plans. Yet they fit together with unsettling accuracy. No mortar binds them. No cement fills the seams. This was not engineering. It was devotion. The act of construction itself was part of the ritual. To build Starosel was to participate in something larger than oneself. A long ceremonial corridor draws the visitor inward. With each step, the outside world recedes. Light fades, sound dulls, air thickens. This descent was not physical alone. It was symbolic. The Thracians believed that before one could approach the divine, one must first abandon the self, status, identity, name. Each footstep erased the ordinary. At the end of the passage, the space opens into a vast circular chamber. The circle was sacred. It had no beginning, no end. It represented eternity, the cycle that governed all existence. There are no corners here, no shadows to hide within, only continuity. But beneath the geometry of the sacred circle, there lies a darker geometry. The Thracians were masters of the shadow. They were a people who spoke to the dead, as if they were still in the room. To them, the wall between worlds was thin. In Starosel, that wall was torn down. Archaeologists found more than just stones. They found the remnants of the dark ritual. In the pits outside the temple, the bones of sacrificed animals lay in specific patterns. Dogs, horses, bulls. Their blood was not spilled by accident. It was a currency. A payment to the lords of the underworld. The Orphic mysteries were not peaceful. They were a violent tearing of the soul from the cage of the flesh. The initiates would undergo the great dying. They were kept in total darkness for days, deprived of food, deprived of light, until the mind began to fracture. Only when the self was broken could the spirit see the unseen. Inside the chamber, the air carries a phantom scent, incense mixed with the metallic tang of fresh blood. The high priest, the Zalmoxis, believed that he could become a god, but the path to godhood led through the mouth of the abyss. Magic here was not a trick of the hand, it was a manipulation of the elements. The Thracians were known for theomancy, the art of forcing the gods to speak. They did not pray, they commanded. They used the great wine, a substance so potent, so dark, it was said to be the milk of the earth goddess. It was spiked with herbs that blurred the line between vision and madness, belladonna, henbane, the seeds of the void. Under the influence of this sacred poison, the initiate would descend into the inner Mogila. They believed that the stones themselves would begin to speak. The granite would vibrate with the voices of every king who had died before. This was a necromantic architecture. The 10 semi-columns were not mere supports. They were pillars of the soul. Each one represented a stage of the afterlife. Each one required a sacrifice. Each one was a gatekeeper. Some legends whisper of human offerings. The messenger to Zalmoxis, a man chosen to be thrown onto the points of spears. If he died instantly, the god had heard them. If he lingered, the god was angry. The horror of Starosel was not in death, but in the uncertainty of what comes after. The Thracians were terrified of a soul that could not find its way, an unbound spirit that would haunt the living, a shadow without a master. So they built Starosel as a trap, a spiritual cage to ensure the transition, a furnace where the soul was melted and reforged. They practiced Katabasis, the ritual descent into the realm of Hades. The priest would enter the central chamber and the heavy doors would be barred from the outside. For hours, he was buried alive, in the absolute silence of the earth, with nothing but the weight of the hill above him, the weight of the dirt pressing against the stone, the weight of the dead pressing against his mind. In that darkness, the sacred marriage occurred, the union of the mortal king with the immortal goddess of the earth. It was a ritual of terror and ecstasy. The shadows on the wall were said to take form, ghostly figures of the great mother, Bendis, the fierce huntress of the night, rising from the stone floor, bending the light, bending reality, tearing the senses apart. Even today, those who study the site speak of the Starosel curse. The team that first opened the mound suffered strange accidents. Equipment failed without cause. Voices were recorded on tapes where no one spoke. Shadows were seen moving in the dromos when the sun was high. The stone is granite. It is an igneous rock. It holds an electrical charge. Scientists call it piezoelectricity. The Thracians called it the breath of the earth. The entire complex acts as a giant resonator. It amplifies the frequency of the human heart. It induces a state of primal fear. Infrasound frequencies that trigger the fight or flight response in the deepest parts of the brain. That fear was the key. Without fear, there is no awe. Without awe, there is no magic. The rituals were designed to push the human heart to its absolute breaking point, to stare into the eyes of the Great Mother, and not blink, to face the dismemberment of Dionysus, the psychological shredding of the ego. When the sun finally struck the altar, it was not just light, it was a spear of fire, the solar seed fertilizing the dark womb. At that moment, the chanting would reach a fever pitch, a low, guttural vibration that bypassed the ears and rattled the bones. The drums made of human skin would thunder. The wine would turn to blood in the mouth. The initiate would feel his skin dissolve, and the king would emerge from the hill, drenched in sweat and sacred oil, no longer a man. He was a theos, a god walking among men. But he left something behind in that chamber, a piece of his humanity that the stone would never return. Power in the Valley of the Kings was a heavy crown to wear. The land demanded a constant return, the blood price of sovereignty. Starosel ate the souls of its builders. It consumed their lives, their labor, and their sanity. By the time the Roman legions arrived, the Thracian world was already a ghost. They had retreated so far into the spirit realm that they had forgotten how to defend the physical one. They saw the end coming. They saw the great cycle turning toward the dark. They saw the Iron Age swallowing the Golden Gate. So they performed the final ritual, the ritual of the seal. They did not just leave Starosel, they executed it. They filled the dromos with heavy rubble. They slaughtered the sacred horses at the gate, their throats cut so their spirits would guard the entrance. They covered the sanctuary in a mountain of soil, layer by layer, prayer by prayer, sin by sin. They wanted to hide the machine of belief from eyes that were no longer pure, from a world that had become too loud, from a future that would only see stones, not spirits. They feared that if the wrong person found the key to the underground, the world would be consumed by the shadows they had spent centuries trying to control. For 2,000 years, the magic was contained. The blood dried into the pores of the granite. The spirits were locked in the stone. The darkness held its breath, but the earth is shifting. The seals have been broken by the shovel of the modern man. Visitors today walk through the dromos, unaware that they are walking through a grave, unaware that the dark ritual is still active. They touch the stones with curious hands, unaware that the stones are still thirsty, unaware that granite does not forget. The heaviness you feel in Starosel is not just the weight of the dirt, it is the weight of 10,000 prayers, the weight of the screams that were never allowed to leave the dome. The Thracians knew that the sun must set so that it can rise again, but they also knew that in the time between, in the twilight of the soul, the monsters are real. approached. Quasters knew that the shoal was where those monsters were fed. It is where the great silence was bred. It is a blueprint of the dark side of the soul, a structure designed to alter perception until you can no longer tell the difference between a god and a demon, between a blessing and a curse. A place that does not explain itself, a place that demands a price for entry. It waits. The hills do not give up their secrets easily. Every stone tells a story of shadows. Every shadow tells a story of light. But in Starosel, the shadows are longer. They move when you do not look. They breathe when you stop breathing. If you go there, do not go alone. Do not speak too loudly. Respect the silence of the kings. And whatever you do not look into the corners where the columns meet the dark. For the Thracians believe that some things, once summoned, never truly leave the circle. They stay in the stones. They hide in the resonance. They wait for a new heart to beat in the chamber. You may think you are an observer, a tourist in the hallway of history. But the temple knows better. In Starosel, everyone is a participant. Everyone is an initiate. Everyone is a sacrifice. Whether they want to be or not, the mirror is watching. The granite is listening. The Great Mother is hungry. And she has been waiting for you for 2,500 years. Step inside. Leave your name at the door and pray that the light find you again.